And welcome back to We Are Unique. And don't forget, if you want to come on the show, just email the studio at wau@europentv.com. And earlier on, I was speaking to Libby Ale talking about PDA. And most recent, I was talking to Deborah Blythe, who was talking about her daughter Morgan, who now joins me in the studio. Morgan, thank you for coming in today. It's great to have you on the show. So, Morgan, can we just talk a little bit about how you, because your mum was telling me earlier on that you got diagnosed around the age of 7 with Asperger. How do you cope with your condition on a day-to-day basis?
I find it really difficult. It's very hard to explain, but the best way to kind of escape, basically, is through music and stuff like video games and stuff, because it's not real life, it's made up. I can put myself in a different world, basically, and everything's better there. But I feel like if it's every day, I'll just listen to music, so I don't focus on what other people are telling me to do, and I just,
So what kind of music do you listen to?
I like more rock music kind of stuff.
Rock music?
Like more alternative stuff.
Yeah. And what sort of video games do you play?
Fantasy kind of things. Like more open sandbox games, so it's completely free for me to decide what's going on.
Yeah. So is that a game where you're playing on your own, or is it a game where you're playing like online with other people?
I play by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you find, if you're playing with other people online, would you find that causes more anxiety, or it's rather just do it on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can probably relate to that, because like what you've just said there, because like for example, when I go to the cinema, it's like an escape.
Yeah.
Because you're not in reality.
Yeah.
You know, you're away from everywhere else. You're switched off, and you're just focused on watching a film. So yeah, I can relate to that. So, do you think there's enough support out there for people with your conditions?
No.
And if not, what would you like to see to happen?
I feel like they should be more training for teachers and stuff to understand what's going on in our heads, because they don't know, because they'll just say stuff like even something as simple as, can you go and get something? I find it very difficult to go and get that object. And I feel like if they say it in a certain way, they'll cause me to panic more, and then I'll start freaking out and just stuff like that. But I feel like with more training and more understanding, even just sitting down and talking to someone with the condition can help.
So do you find school challenging?
Yeah, I very rarely manage to get to school because of everything that's going on in my head. It feels like someone's holding me back and I can't move in a way.
So would you prefer to be home tutored?
No. I find that very difficult, because in my head it's like homework. I can't do any homework because home is home and school is school. I do my work at school and I relax at home.
Yeah. It's quite interesting now, is because you would, like when my nephews come home from school, they're like, I don't want to do any homework because, I'm at home and I want to play on my games, and I don't want to do that. And I suppose in society that's how the education system is, that they put more pressure on children to do work at home, which they should be doing what they do at school's enough, really. But what sort of things do you think help you with your condition?
Like I said, the video games and music and stuff like that, because as I said, it's not real, it's made up, and stuff that isn't real I feel like can really help, because I don't really know how to explain it, really. Because there's so many different things that can help, but it's finding one that really helps, if that makes any sense.
And earlier on we were talking about, just before we came on the show, was about your interest and hobbies with makeup, special effects. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's, again, with it not being real. I think most of what I enjoy is stuff that isn't real because it's an escape. Like the special effects makeup, I can make someone look how I imagine it to be, and it's kind of hard to explain in that kind of sense. But
Do you find it therapeutic?
yeah,
So would you do somebody else's makeup, or
I
would you rather just do your own, or would you?
I prefer to do my own, but if someone let me do whatever I wanted, I would do someone else's makeup for them.
Yeah, and would that be like an escape
Yeah.
for you?
A lot of it's control as well. I have to be in control of every situation, or else I will start to panic and I shake and get very nervous.
Yeah. So what sort of makeup have you done up to now? What sort of like special effects have you done?
Mainly just on Halloween. I was. It's kind of gory, but I completely covered up my mouth with liquid latex, and then I made it look like I had holes in my mouth. It wasn't very nice, but it was
very
cool.
scary.
Yeah, it was.
But it looked really good.
Yeah, it scared everyone that saw me. So
how long did it take you to do that? Did you to learn that sort of task and ability? Did you watch like tutorials on YouTube and that? And
I watched a YouTube video, and I'm very good at picking up stuff very quickly. So I just watched the video once, left it, and then just did it all by myself, and it took me like 2-3 hours to do, which was quite annoying and quite stressful, but it was.
And how long did you leave it on for? Just during the Halloween night, or?
Yeah, really, until I think it was 10 o'clock, and I think I finished it at around 7 or something, so it took very long.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about bullying now. So obviously we won't talk about the people who bullied you. Well, we can talk a little bit about that, but we won't mention who the people are. But tell us a little bit what the bullying has done to you and how it's affected you.
It's horrible, really. It messed with me psychologically so much. It makes me feel horrible about myself, even though it wasn't stuff like, to mention how about my appearance. It makes you feel like you're worthless and you don't deserve to have anyone around you. That you just want to curl up in a little ball in the corner and just tell everyone to go away. Kind of, it's just annoying. Because I mean, I've really been bullied since nursery, which was a very long time ago, but it sticks with you and it doesn't really go ever, I don't think. Like some people, they might be able to let go of it and move on, but I can't.
So when you're saying the bullying was started at nursery, so it developed from nursery into junior school?
I mean, my first encounter with that sort of stuff was my head teacher, and she used to make me sit outside her office every day, all day. The only times that I would be able to move is to eat my lunch, and then I'd have to go straight back to the outside her office and just sit there. It was not very nice.
So what sort of things were the children doing to you?
They would like push me, call me names. It's kind of got worse as I got older, but because I moved around a lot, it was different people all the time. But the first student that bullied me was, she used to push me, pull my hair, stamp on my toes, call me names, but that was mainly in like first school. And then it was in second year, I didn't like going to school in middle school, and so I used to put my face up against the bars, the fence, sorry, and these group of girls came behind me and pushed my head into the fence, and I ended up chipping my tooth. And I went and told the teachers, and they said, well, you have no proof that they did this, we can't do anything. And I feel like they more brushed it off because of my conditions, like it didn't mean anything to them.
So do you think schools should be doing more about bullying in
Yes,
schools? And what
definitely.
What do you think they should be doing?
I feel like they should just talk
Do you think
to
they should
people.
suspend the children who do the bullying, or?
I'm not quite sure on that. I think that they should just teach them not to do it in a way. Like they should.
So do you think there should be? Do you think nationally? Do you think the education system needs to start implementing a bullying lesson?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if people are more aware of the effects of bullying, because people are aware of what happens when people are bullied, how it affects them, but I feel like if they don't see it properly, because a lot of people bottle it in, like myself, I bottle it in and hide it and don't let anyone see how I truly feel, but I feel like if the students know how the people feel, that it will help them understand what they're going through, and if it doesn't, then maybe further action should be taken. But
yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. Also, what would you like to do in the future once you've left school? What do you see yourself doing in the next 10 years?
I'm not quite
I know
sure.
it's a long, long way away. Would you like to work in makeup, special effects?
I feel like that's the thing that I would love to do most. Something very art-based.
Yeah. And would you rather work for somebody, or like you're saying, because you want to be in control, would you rather be like self-employed?
I feel like I would cope more with being self-employed.
Yeah. Because there's as you know, there's lots of people out there who do, you know, like celebrities makeup. They go around freelance, and you know, some of these high-profile celebrities don't do their own makeup.
Yeah.
They have somebody go into their own before they go out on a shoot or a TV show, and going out to doing their makeup. So is that something you would like to do?
Yeah. I think that would be the best thing ever.
And just before we go on today's show, what sort of message would you put out there for a young person who is at school who's being bullied? What would you say to them?
I know it's difficult, but they really need to talk to someone, because it'll only get worse. Even if it's writing it down and posting it to someone, I feel like that would help, just to get it off the chest and let someone know that what they're going through is important and they're not alone. And, yeah.
Because I speak to many people nationally, and I've campaigned nationally on bullying, and it really upsets me when so many young people take their lives through being bullied, you know, and that they commit suicide. So do you think there should be, I know even online, a lot of people who get bullied online, who get trolled online and abused online, do you think there should be laws and legislations in place to protect these people?
Definitely, yeah. Because even though it is online and people say, oh, you can just turn off the computer and then it'll go away, it doesn't. It's always there, eating at the back of your mind. It won't go away until you sort it out, and yeah.
Well, Morgan, thank you so much for joining me on today's show. It's been a pleasure to have you and your mum on, and thank you for sharing your stories. And don't forget, if you want to be on the show, you can email the studio. It's wau@europentv.com. And on the series, we're not just talking about autism, we talk about a whole range of disabilities and conditions. Until next month, have a great month, and we'll be back next month with more features on disabilities on We Are Unique.